We'll discuss Inyane Lag BaOmer as next week, next Wednesday night is Lag BaOmer. So the Ramah writes in Shulchan Aruch, Mistaprim biyom lamid gimel. On Lag BaOmer, on the 33rd day of the Omer, which is Yud Ches Iyar, which is the 18th day of Iyar, one is permitted to take a haircut. Obviously what the Ramah is referring to, it is a minhag, different minhagim, but there are minhagi svira in between Pesach and Shavuos. Even though minhag Torah, it's a happy time, that we're basically counting the time between the Exodus from Egypt, Yetzias Mitzrayim, and Matan Torah. So on a biblical level, it is a happy time. But later on in Jewish history, most famously, Rabbi Akiva's 24,000 students, or different crusades, different things as well went on. Whatever the issues were, we have a minhag of Avelos, not to get married during this time, not to take haircuts, not to listen to music, etc. So however, on Lag BaOmer, the Ramah writes one could take a haircut. So there's different minhagim. Those who finish on Lag BaOmer, so once you finish Lag BaOmer, then you could take a haircut the day after, the day after, the day after, you're finished. But even those who begin Rosh Chodesh and go past Lag BaOmer, even they are permitted to take a haircut Lag BaOmer. Everyone seems to say Lag BaOmer is okay. So what does the Ramah write? So that's the background. So the Ramah writes that one is permitted to take a haircut on Lag BaOmer, but that's even though in Judaism, Vayir Vayiboker Yom Echad, the day begins at night. Nevertheless, the Ramah writes regarding taking a haircut, you should not take a haircut until Thursday morning. Below Erev, but not at the night before. And the Mishnah Berurah there quotes a Machokas Achronim. Some are even lenient to take a haircut or perhaps get married the night before. In fact, if I believe correctly, Rav Nissen Alpert, who was at Talbin Muvak Rav Moshe from the Lower East Side, his daughter or son got married on the night of Lag BaOmer, working with Rav Moshe Shita. There's a separate issue also on Yud Zayin, on the night of Yud Zayin Tammuz, when the 3 weeks begin, a similar issue. But so we'll see, there are those who are mekel on even the night before. So what is this issue? Whether one has to wait to Thursday morning to take a haircut, or one could take a haircut Wednesday night. What is the issue at hand? So the quote from the Hari Kedem, in the name of Rav Soloveitchik, the foundation of the dispute is im hetzer atisparis biyom lam gimel omer hu misham mixus hayom kekulo. Because we have a general rule, we have in other areas, we have a rule in Avelis that we're all familiar with on this, that there's when someone passes away, one of the 7 relatives, so there's a din of Shiva. So Shiva is 7 days. However, we're familiar with on the 7th day, people just sit in the morning, get up right away. Based on the principle of Mixus Hayom Kekulo, that part of the day is considered the end of the day. So, and therefore, that's what someone pointed out. And so in the morning, and kind of like like the Machaber Shita, he just says it's on the 34th day of the Omer. But that so perhaps one way to understand the Ramah is that we have a principle by Avela, it's a mixus hayom kekulo. Lama Gimel Omer is the night, is the last day of the unit. So on the last day of a unit, we say mixus hayom kekulo, just like we do by Shiva. That and perhaps you could say it could be the machokas. There are those Rishonim who say I believe it's the Ramban, that you say mixes alayla kalayla. You even say alaminig is we don't, but some even say it at night. So then perhaps Lag BaOmer, when you b'makkah mitzvah, when you want to have a wedding or some other issue, so then we permit you to take a haircut or even get married even the night before. But that could be one issue on whether the Ramah brings down you do it in the day, because that's the way we pass. In the machlokas, do you say mixes hayom kekuo, or do you also say mixes halayla kekuo? So that could be one way of learning the Ramah. Maybe everyone agrees no. We're working with mixes hayom kekuo. So what's the other shita? O mishum the heter hatisbar is b'lam gavomer o mishum the lamed gimel ba'omer chashuv kiyantov. Lamed gimel ba'omer, as the Rama writes, is a mixas yantov. It's a quasi yantov, and therefore a yantov shari listapir. And we know on a yantov then you're permitted, not a regular yantov, it's usher, but on a yantov when there's always a malacha, it's mutter to shave. So that would be the nafkamina. If we say the issue is based on mixes hayom kekulo, so then we normally only accept it in the morning, hence the Ramaz minig. Those achronim who say that you could even take a haircut at night and do other things at night, they hold it's not midin mixes hayom kekulo, it's midin that it's a yantiv. And the Raya Brewer was a proof to this shita that it's a yantiv and not based on mixes hayom is because the Ramah brings down in Sif Gimel the harbe makomos nohagin limnos es alam gimel yom mibeis iyar ad. The many have accustomed to start from Rosh Chodesh, the second mibeis iyar ad shvuas. Va'afilu hachi gam heim nohagim heter tispores b'lam gimel. As we mentioned before, even those minhagim who begin Rosh Chodesh Iyar still take a haircut or shave on Lag BaOmer. The Uvade L'Shita Zu Oshal Machlom, a mix that you can't say it's based on mixes of Yom because it's in the middle of the count. But then mix of Gula Oshayach Lo B'Sof HaMinyan. How could they shave on Lag BaOmer? It must be that the heter is that Lam Gimel BaOmer is Chashuv Ki Yantiv. And therefore, a Pashtu, if he's a heter no Gim Berev Gamkein. So therefore, I wouldn't say it's a steer in the Ramah, but from the Ramah about Mistaper B'Yom, they write the minhag to do it during the day, it's not at night, implying it's a dinner mixes hayom. On the other hand, the Ramah in Sif Gimel, he brings down that even those who don't, it's not that last day, implying it's a yantov. So either way, that's a discussion. See where the Ramah writes, it's a mixas yantov. Lag BaOmer. So why is it a mixas yantov? What happened on Lag BaOmer that would make it into a quasi yantov? So we're all familiar with the Gemara in Yevamos that Mesu, the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva died, and therefore, according to different traditions, some say they stopped dying on Lag BaOmer, on the 33rd day of the Omer. And therefore, that's why it's a mixas yantiv. It's a mixas yantiv because the tragedy ended. So the question is, it's one thing not to be sad anymore when a tragedy ends. Where do we have any precedent that after a tragedy ends, we turn it into a quasi yantiv, a mixas yantiv? That's what the Gra seems to be saying. The Be'er HaGra, he alludes to the Gemara at the end of Tainus. There's a famous Gemara at the end of Tainus on the two happiest days of the year. So the Gemara says Yom Kippur, because it's the day of Slichu Mechila, it's the day of forgiveness, and Tu B'Av, the 15th day of Av. So the Gemara says, Bishol Mayam Kippur, I understand Yom Kippur, Deka Slichu Mechila. But Tu B'Av, most people never even heard of it, forget about being the happiest day of the year. The Gemara lists numerous things that happen on that day. And that's why it's a mixas yantiv. The one I want to take out is that one of the things that happened was the Mesi HaMidbar, the Jews who were destined to die after the Siddur Meraglim, they stopped dying on, or I should say, they recognized that they stopped dying on Tu B'Av, because clearly they stopped dying before. As the Medrash says, that what did they do every year? On Tisha B'Av, everyone dug their own grave and slept in the grave area. Those who woke up got out, and those who died, they buried them. So the last year, they all did it, and everyone got up. So they figured, oh, we got the wrong date, and they did it for a couple of days until they finally saw the moon, and they realized, wait a second, it's the 15th of Av. Obviously, it must be God had Rahmanas on us, and God said it's not going to stop the Mesi HaMidbar from dying anymore. So the Gemara says it's a mixus yantif. It's a discussion whether you could say all the reasons given the Gemara you need to make it a mixus yantif. That's why Tu B'Av is, or from the Gra it's mashma. It's one of any of those reasons is enough, and therefore the Rabbi Akiva's students dying is kind of like the tragedy ended. The Mesi HaMidbar stopped dying, and therefore we have a mixus yantif. So perhaps that's the source of the Ramah. What the Gra seems to be saying, why Lag BaOmer is a mixus yantif. So one thing that I say happened is that the Rabbi Akiva students stopped dying, and we say from the Gemara that's enough to make it a mixus yantif. But perhaps it's more. I mean, that's just merely eliminating the negative. What else potentially happened on Lag BaOmer? So the Medrash tells us on the 18th of Iyar, not a good thing. They're going way back. The Mabul started, the flood that God went to destroy the world. That started, they pointed out, it started on Yud Ches Iyar, so not an auspicious time. And in fact, there's an old minhag of playing bow and arrow, shooting the bow and arrow on Lag BaOmer. Where does that come from? Because the Hebrew word keshet means rainbow, it means bow and arrow. That's the rainbow to remind us that God's not going to destroy the world anymore after the flood. So on one hand, earlier in Jewish history, or earlier in history, the Mabul started, but later on something positive happened. The Chassam Sofer writes, the mun started falling on Yud Ches Iyar. So we see it's an inauspicious time, that it's time for revelation, the heavens opening up, and we see on one hand it was 40 days of destruction with the Mabul. On the other hand, with the mun, it was 40 years of blessing. So the 18th of Iyar is an auspicious time for revelation, and if we do tshuva and mispalel, then Lamed Gimel Omer hopefully will be bracha like the mun. In fact, interesting that different holidays always fall on the same day. So for instance, Pesach and Tisha B'Av. The first night of the Seder is always the day of Tisha B'Av. So this year Tisha B'Av is Shabbos, so we're going to have a nitcha. We'll push her up to Sunday. So the Mefarshim try to find some link between Tisha B'Av and Pesach. Others point out that another two holidays fall on the same day of the week. Plag, like Plag HaMincha, Purim and Lag BaOmer. Purim and Lag BaOmer always fall on the same day. So Purim happened on Thursday, so Lag BaOmer is on Thursday, next Thursday. So if it's always falls on the same date, there must be some link between Purim and Lag BaOmer. What is the link between Purim and Lag BaOmer? So some point out that just like on Lag BaOmer, it started off as a day of Kola, the Mabul, and it ended off a day of Bracha, the mun. So too Purim. It began with Haman making a decree, Lahashmil Laharas Kol Yehudim Ta'afin Nashim, to kill everybody. And later on we know it never led to fruition, and the Jews ended up being victorious. So it turned up. So Purim also started off as a negative and turned it into a positive. So too Lag BaOmer, it began, and that's always, especially, well, Lag BaOmer, we'll see, it'll be connected to Kabbalah in a minute, but especially in Kabbalistic literature, everything's always good. It's what we do with it. And therefore, Lag BaOmer, we have to use at a time now. It's a time of revelation, and we have to use it in terms of bracha. So that's one connection between Purim and Lag BaOmer. They both went from Kol to bracha. Another explanation is what else happened on Lag BaOmer. Tradition has it that Rav Shimon Bar Yochai died on that day, and he revealed the Kabbalah. He could reveal the Zohar. And the Zohar, it revealed the hidden secrets, the mystical secrets. I guess up until now they were hidden. He felt now the time was right, and he revealed the Zohar, Kabbalistic hidden secrets. But that's at some point out. That's the connection. That Purim, we know it's the only book that's not mentioned, one of the few that's not mentioned in Tanakh. It's one of the few that doesn't have God's name in it. So just like that's Hester Panim, so too Purim was, God's presence was hidden, and then He revealed Himself through Derech HaTeva. So too Lag BaOmer, that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai revealed the hidden secrets as well. So we see God was working behind the scenes both on Purim and on Lag BaOmer. And just to conclude, interesting as well, there are 49 days, 50 days between Pesach and Shavuos. There are 64 days in between Purim and Lag BaOmer. So what's the significance of 49 and 64? So 49 is a series of 7, 64 is a series of 8. The number 7 is always used as Derech HaTeva, normal 7 days of the week, 7 years of the cycle. But 8 is always Mimala Miderech HaTeva, Bris Milah is on day 8. Or Chanukah is 8 days. So to hear that it's a series of 8, because that's what Lag BaOmer is all about. Lag BaOmer is because on Shavuos the revealed Torah was given, the Torah Shebeksav, and as well the Torah Sheba'al Peh. That's the cycle of 7. That's the revealed Torah. However, the number 8 on Lag BaOmer, 64 days. That's when the hidden Torah was given, and that's why that's another link. This to summarize, we discussed. The Rama wrote the heter to taking haircuts only applies Lag BaOmer morning, not at night, and others cholik. So the different ways to understand the machokas, either within the shita that you hold, it's over Lag BaOmer. Do you say it's based on mixes hayom kukulo or mixes halayla? We normally assume mixes hayom. That's what the Rama is going with. Or you could say no, that it's nothing to do with mixes hayom. Or the issue is whether Lag BaOmer is chashuv kiyantiv. If you hold it's chashuv hayantiv, then you could do everything the night of Lag BaOmer. But if you hold it just out to mixes hayom, it's a din of avelis, and it's just ending. It's the end of the unit. So then you have to say it's based on the principle of mixes. It seems to be a raya that it's not mixes hayom. It's a yantiv because those who start from Rosh Chodesh Iyar or after get a freebie in Lag BaOmer. So either way, that's the minute. The minute gets to wait to the next morning, to Lag BaOmer morning, Thursday morning, this year, May 10th. And then we discussed why is Lag BaOmer mixes yantiv. Where do we find precedent? Because 24,000 students stopped dying to them, so we make it into a mixes yantiv. That we find from the Gemara in Tainis. The Gemara leads us to that the Mesi HaMidbar stopped dying, and therefore Tu B'Av is a mixes yantiv. And then we discuss what else happened besides Mesi Rabbi, besides the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva dying. What else? what else happened? So we explained that there seems to be a link between Pesach and Tisha B'Av, as well as Purim and Lag BaOmer, because it's on the same day. And therefore, what's the link? So first we explained the link is from Kol the Bracha, first from the Mabul to the Man on Lag BaOmer. Iyar wasn't Lag BaOmer yet. And by Purim it went from Haman's Gzeira to Haman being killed. So it's an inauspicious time of revelation. We have to turn it from Kol to Bracha. Or because Rav Shimon Bar Yochai revealed the Zohar, and therefore Purim was also a day of hidden. It was Nistir, so too Lag BaOmer is this. That's why Lag BaOmer from Purim is 8. It's a series of 8 because it's Malami Derech HaTeva, and 7 is from Pesach to Shua. So that's why these are some of the reasons why it's a mixes yantav. Either Rabbi Akiva students stopped dying, or because Rav Shimon Bar Yochai revealed the Zohar, and that's why there's a big, in Eretz Yisrael, thousands of people go up to Meron and they visit the kever of Shimon Bar Yochai based on this tradition that Rav Shimon Bar Yochai revealed the Zohar on this day. And that's a separate issue. If it's the day he died, why are we celebrating? Usually a yortzeit, it's fast and not feast, so that's a separate discussion. Maybe we'll talk about another time.